And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, July 19th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. A wet Wednesday it is. And we welcome you to our listening audience. Thanks for joining us. And we welcome Robert McDonald to talk about Cedarstone Bank. Robert, good morning.
Coleman, good morning.
All the way from Donaldson, right?
All the way from Donaldson. A few raindrops this morning coming in, but it's always as we talk about, a nice drive coming up here. Now going back, we'll see what that looks like.
If you want to be real positive, you call it liquid sunshine.
That's right. It's always a beautiful drive, though. It's good to be with you this morning.
Robert, of course, is Vice President, Relationship Manager, and works out of the Donaldson office of Cedarstone Bank, off Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. So, get us started this morning.
Coleman, good morning. It's always good to be with you, live and in person. And everything, I know we were talking here briefly before the show started, but the banking business is going well. We're staying busy. We had a great, it's hard to believe, it's already almost half a year is over, right? The 2 quarters are gone, but the banking business is strong. The relationships are great, and Cedarstone Bank is doing well.
Well, we've said many times the best way to start that relationship, and we might do this a little early this morning, is that free checking account.
And normally this rounds us out here, but yes, the free checking account we talk about, a bank like us, a true community bank, the relationship's very important, not only for us, but also our customers. So we want to get to know you. We want you to get to know us. And when you have a lending need, it's always good to have a relationship started. So that free checking account is a great way to do that.
It's just a good way, especially young people, maybe their first bank account, a free checking account at Cedarstone.
Free checking account at Cedarstone, and we have a lot of folks that get that first free checking account when they go off to college. It's hard to believe it's that time of year again. So for parents to help out the students who need, of course, that debit card, you can use that debit card anywhere in the world. So even if you're not in school here locally, if you to access that money, we reimburse that foreign ATM fee, which is a great asset and incentive for that account, which can be upwards of $4 to $5 these days.
Well, there are other free checking accounts, no doubt, a few anyway, but I'm not sure if anybody reimburses you on those foreign
the foreign ATM fees,
ATM
right? When we say free, Coleman, and we started, as you know, in April 2004, so we're almost 20 years old, and that account is totally free. Some places, have certain restrictions. If you have your direct deposit, if you have a certain amount of withdrawals in a month, and then your account is free. But there's no minimum balance. Everything is totally free. Direct deposit's not required. We'd love to have your direct deposit, of course, but that's not required. And online banking, mobile check deposit, all assets of the account, totally free, no charge.
Well, I've always liked your slogan, and I think it's caught on. We're still using it, simple banking, simply
We
better.
haven't changed it yet.
But you do have all the advantages of modern technology.
We do. We really invested in that about 5 years ago, Coleman, and so we have the best technology when it comes to, and also fraud protection, and that's a big thing, this day and age. And so we really took that to heart and invested in that, and the greatest technology you can find there at Cedarstone Bank.
Well, one of the things banks are known for, and one of the way they do make money, is to lend money.
Right.
And you've got money to lend, you can get your loan at Cedarstone.
I always love your tagline there, get your loan at Cedarstone. We are lending money. People are borrowing money. As we always talk about, you can kind of hear some bad news, if you will, on the national media stage, but in our local economy here in Wilson, Davidson County especially, everybody seems very confident, consumers and businesses alike, and they're borrowing money, they're growing their business and doing well.
Well, I know that here in Lebanon, Bob is very active locally, and other members of the bank there are too. You serve the Donaldson area, but there are certain things of a public service nature you do there. Anything going on right now?
Of course, we're very active with the Mount Juliet Chamber, with the fine gentleman across from me that your listeners will hear from in a moment. But of course, part of the Donaldson Hermitage Chamber, we have a great chamber down there. I'm on the board of Two Rivers Mansion, if you know that, off McGavick Pike, and there's summer tours. It's a great for the families to go out to tour the grounds, and right there by Two Rivers Park to kind of walk around and a part of that. But we're always very involved in education, so we're getting geared up for the next school year and taking care of our local schools and all of our communities.
And I think you're the primary one with the Donaldson branch that probably more active than anybody else in your branch there.
Well, I would say that. And there's a guy that retired a few years ago that still kind of comes around every now and again named Willie McDonald. So I'm not going to give up the reins just yet. He might have retired, but I think he still kind of rules that area, and I'll let him have that at this point in time. But yes, sir, we have a good time with that.
Willie has meant a lot to you, though. He been
sure has.
a mentor not only to your father, his
Yes.
son, but to you, his grandson.
70 years in banking, Coleman, which is an incredible feat, and I had the great pleasure of working alongside him for a good 7 to 8 years before he retired in October of 2018, and has been a mentor, and love him, and what a storied career that he had.
Well, again, today would be a good day to open that free checking account. Good day to even come and see if you can qualify for a loan.
Exactly right.
You're there and open and welcoming to all the people of your area, no doubt.
Everybody come see us. We'll take
All
good
right.
care of it.
Thanks for being
Thank
with
you,
us.
Coleman. Yes, sir.
That's Robert McDonald. Again, he's Vice President, Relationship Manager for Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, simply better. And we are 10 minutes after the hour and want to welcome Mark Hinsley from the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well, and we were talking about your trip to Lebanon this morning. It had to have been in the rain.
It wasn't too bad. Not much traffic, but I sure do like the improvements they've made out on the West Main Street. Just a smooth ride in this morning, but
Did you take the bypass Padua Parkway?
no, I just come right straight through town. There's very little traffic at this time of the morning, at least going east. So no, now that they got all the paving projects and everything done, it's a piece of cake.
Oh,
So
it's a lot nicer. It rides more smoothly.
next time, I believe next time I come, school will be in session and we'll have big yellow buses on the road and
Yeah.
we'll slow down a little bit. Coleman, I got to ask, who mows the lawn out here?
Bobby James.
Tell him, nice job. Good green grass when it's mowed, when it's wet, you can tell whether it's done right or not. Whoever's doing it's doing a nice job. Looked fantastic this
He
morning.
does some maintenance for us, and
Okay.
that does include keeping the lawn.
Well, hang on to him. You're getting your money's worth out of
Well,
that.
I think we're going to.
Yeah.
That's Susie's brother-in-law.
Yeah, well, good.
Okay.
So this is a busy day. We're either going to have to talk faster or get more time, one or the
Well,
other.
I want to ask
There's
you
a lot
about
going
your
on.
51st Mount Juliet celebration last Saturday.
Fantastic turnout. That was Saturday night. Had a full lineup of live music, probably north of 15 food trucks. And I don't know, I heard Justin the other day said 4,000 or 5,000 people probably showed up. And it's very well done. They pull out all the stops. Rocky Lee and his team had the facilities and the grounds looking fantastic. The police department, you couldn't swing a cat without hitting somebody directing traffic or keeping us safe. And so they all just do a fantastic job, and already looking forward to the third Saturday in July next year. I think they're going to make it an annual event.
Well, you're a busy guy. Mount Juliet's a busy place. There's new businesses coming all the time.
Yeah, we have at the end of June, 111 new business licenses year to date. So it's averaging 18, 19 a month, something like that. We had 20 last month. So always by the second or third of the month, I get that report, and yep, we did it again. So
Well, being at the chamber, being the head person really to Chamber of Commerce there, you probably one of the first people that somebody new coming into Mount Juliet sees.
and sometimes it's years before you actually ever see them. They come in, they mouse around a little bit, check things out. They know they want to be here sometime, but maybe the time is just not right, or they haven't found the exact location. But sometimes they're already in the process before we find out. And we don't make or build or sell anything. We just transfer information and help people build their network and supply them with information. And
How about enhance?
enhance, that's a good word, yeah. And community, we're community enhancers, I guess. But, there's so many other things that go into it. And if they weren't doing things very, very well, we wouldn't even have our name in the hat. And I think it starts with education. I heard Jeff and Brian were on here the other day, and I think they undersold or didn't give themselves enough credit for what public education means and private education opportunities in any county USA. It starts with that. You can get the biggest, nicest, fanciest, glossiest building or company, but if the people making the decision don't see a future for their families, or isn't going to be a place where they want their families to work and live, they're going to pull us off the table. So not only is it's so important, and that's our number one thing next Wednesday morning. I know that Melanie and Jeff and Brian talked about that teacher thing, but we got good teachers. You can have big brand new school buildings, and the county commission has went all in on that and given them the best facilities imaginable, but it still comes down to the classroom teacher, I think, and so we're lucky, and we need to do everything we can to keep that, because if we ever screw up on that, Chambers will only have to be open about 3 days a week.
And we do want to encourage everybody to love that teacher.
Yeah, next Wednesday morning, you got a perfect opportunity. You say, well, I'd like to help, but I don't know what to do. I'll tell you exactly what to do. Go online, register, grab a friend. We'll give you a sign. Meet us outside the door next Wednesday morning for the public schools, Thursday for the Lebanon Special School District, and I believe there's a private school or two that might be sometime between then and the end of the month. But just greet them when they come in. Last year it was sort of a making it up as we go. We thought we just had to do something, and it turned out to be fantastic. And this year's even better. But we had teachers that literally came around the corner and started crying. Yeah. They were so emotionally appreciative of people care. And we can't fix every problem, but I'll tell you what, we can go a long way towards solving that problem. So
okay, time for us to take a break. Mark Consley's with us. More coming up on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford and the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitors' pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. As of last check, it was still running a little bit slow from an earlier crash in Williamson County on 65 northbound down around Spring Hill. It's starting to pick up with a lot of volume now. 40 westbound at Donaldson Pike as you come past B&A Airport, coming through Hermitage. Wilson County traffic's been pretty quiet as far as accidents now. It's increasing 65 south down through Millersville, through that section of Sumner County. Princess Hot Chicken is catering. Check out their awesome menu today. You can order online at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, we understand the complexities that come with family law matters. Whether you're going through a divorce, working through child custody or support matters, or needing a will or trust drafted to protect your family assets for future generations. Kane & Crowell, 615-784-4800. Your local leaders in family law matters.
This is Mike Keith, voice of your Tennessee Titans. With 11 national tournament appearances in this past season, it's obvious that Cumberland University athletics continues to rise above expectations. Join me and Cumberland University for the launch of their Athletics Phoenix Foundation and the ribbon cutting for their football complex renovations on Thursday, July the 27th at 8:30 a.m. at Noakes Lassiter Field in Lebanon, Tennessee. Help us rise together and support transformative football facility enhancements as we impact the lives of our local community, college athletes, and future Cumberland University Phoenix. Learn more at cumberland.edu/Phoenix Foundation. Again, that's cumberland.edu/Phoenix Foundation. Cumberland University, where champions rise together.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us here on a Wednesday. We have Mark Consley, Mount Jude Chamber of Commerce, and you've kind of got to going slow there. You probably want to speed it up. I'm going to be quiet and let you talk.
Well, happy birthday, WANT, 30 years this year, here coming up in just a couple of months.
Right,
so don't want to miss the opportunity to say thank you to them. If you're next Thursday morning, I believe the 27th, Cumberland is having a big ribbon cutting over at the Noakes Lassiter, Lassiter Noakes Field. I know they're working hard on that. Congratulations to the Watertown, that jazz festival. When you have an outdoor event, it could go either way, but I heard that that was fantastic. Had a chance.
It was, and especially according to Mike Jennings.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I had an opportunity to go to the county commission meeting the other night, and see our local elected leaders in action, and I always enjoy doing that. Everybody's always so friendly and so nice, and they're there to do the will of the people, and I think they do a fantastic job. Several proclamations were made. The Kiwanis Club's they got a proclamation for encouraging our local faith-based communities to set aside a day of prayer for our students. They were generous enough to provide a proclamation for our We Love Our Teachers event coming up, and had a chance to give me a minute to personally thank them and encourage others to jump on board. I'm glad they recognize the importance of that. I have to tell you, Helen McPeak, she is Wilson County Fair. That in just a few short minutes, she covered a lot of ground, and that is a really big deal. And I don't know that everybody can fully appreciate what has to happen to make that happen. And I was just in awe of all the new things that are going on in new buildings, and it looks like whether you're from cradle to grave, there's something for you to do. And I think there were 12 stages last year. I think she said this year there's 15. Oh, wow. So and very, very affordable passes for the week, so you can come as many times as you want. I think she had a slide up there that you can't see it all in one day, so at least buy a 2-day pass. But we have our State of the County address. Mayor Hutto will be coming today to speak. We have another sold-out crowd today, and this year with so many things going on, our board chair, Tracy Pope, I know she was out here probably yesterday. Yes. She's a regular. Her and her vice chair or chair-elect, Julie Roosevelt, who owns the Basement Marketplace, they are leading the crew this year and doing a fantastic job. And it just seems like every month there's something else, something new. MJ was asking me this morning about BJ's Wholesale. That's that big building being built right by the interstate on the southwest corner of I-40 and Mount Juliet Road.
That's what now?
BJ's Wholesale.
I've been wondering as I passed by what that was going to be.
It had 4 walls, and then the storm came, and then they had 3 walls, so they rebuilt. Now we're back to 4 walls, so we're back on track again. But it's
I shouldn't laugh. You said it's kind of humorous, but it must have not slowed them down too long.
I don't think so, but they're going to be open, I think, probably mid-October. Mm-hmm. Rooms to Go will be building a rather large facility, a retail store right next to that, getting ready to open up Adams Lane, where they cut it off. They're going to take the barricades down, and you'll be able to drive straight through to Providence Parkway. So that's that will definitely help the traffic flow out there for some of those folks. So congratulations. Mount Juliet had their 51st birthday party, I guess, last Friday or Saturday night at the park. That was another overwhelming success. I probably already mentioned that, but let me see here what else I had. Something that they're putting in place and working through, and I'm glad to see Wilson County, Watertown, Lebanon, Mount Juliet all working together, working on what's called the urban growth boundary. And that's something that no one entity can make too many changes, if any, without everybody, the other 3, all being on the same page, so you truly get a product at the end that everybody is in agreement with. And I know that developers like that, property owners like it when they know kind of what the boundaries are and the rules. And so I think they have a follow-up meeting this afternoon that they're working through that process. I'm going to thank all of them. Lebanon's known Judd Sellers for a long time, Mount Juliet as well. And Judd, he was our Business of the Year, Businessman of the Year last year, recognized by his peers. But he was approved for a 3rd building right there by the amazing Christmas place. So we'll have even more down there. Probably within the next couple of weeks, be breaking ground on the City Center, which is right in front of the chamber office, that vacant lot beside Local Joe's on the southeast corner of Mount Juliet Road and Division Street. And I believe they've already announced that First Bank is going to be building their facility there, Starbucks. These are both within, I could throw a horseshoe, or in your case, a cornhole, and hit that corner lot right there. And they're putting a business called Sinaholic. Think of Cinnabon, cinnamon rolls, pastries. The pictures look amazing. Cinnaholic. I gained 3 pounds just looking at that, the picture of their products. So looking forward to that. The Golden Bear area continues to be rapidly moving forward with out by where Costco's going. I think Costco, maybe nobody wanted to be the first one out there, but nobody wants to be left out. And as soon as Costco announced they were coming, Katie barred the door at Bradford, Lineberry, and Commissioner Justice came and presented a program last Friday morning, and they went over a number of the projects that they have going on out there and what their plans are. It showed some graphics of what their concept is out there, and all of Wilson County is going to be a little bit better when that's all built out. They also have another big project going up on by Meb Court with an entertainment center, music venue. He mentioned perhaps a pub type place and stuff for the kids to do, with maybe even a ice skating rink of some sort. I don't know if that's going to be, it probably wouldn't be year round, but maybe seasonal, that they could transform a certain area so that might not be the Rockefeller Center, but we can go ice skating in the wintertime around a Christmas tree maybe.
Are you talking about indoor or outdoor? Or both?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. It looked like it would be a combination. It's not exactly the rendering of the Los Angeles football stadium, where is that indoor or outdoor? I remember when so it could be a little bit of both, I guess, but they'll work through that process. And then I know that Justin and Kenny have probably mentioned the massive concept plan for completely redoing where City Hall is, taking a large area right there, converting it to restaurants, a new City Hall, parking, garage, offices, along with probably a couple of hundred residential units. So that could transform the city of downtown of Mount Juliet to something that we couldn't even imagine just a few short years ago.
Well, you've mentioned a number of things this morning. First time I've heard about them.
It's classified. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, it's if you see the meeting agendas, the planning commission and the projects that are going through, it's just phenomenal, the growth, and you just can't build them fast enough. And this is with historically, they're not bad interest rates, but they're 7% higher than what they were just a couple of years ago when it was zero practically. So, I think as Robert alluded to, I think businesses haven't stopped investing, and people still need a place to live. This is still a very popular place, so I think people are probably willing to give up a little something else to get their business or their family moved into where they want to be. And I guess residents probably look at now, hey, this is where we want to be now. Businesses, they're looking 5-10 years down the road, and Costco's a perfect example. They've been waiting for a long time to come out here until the time was right. So try to keep everybody happy and pulling the wagon in the same direction.
And they're on Golden Bear Gateway.
Golden Bear Parkway, close to Volunteer Athletes Way, right out there by the Under Armour, the new 7-Eleven. It's when you see there's cutting new roads back through and paving and stuff, so they'll break ground maybe mid-October, something like that. It won't take them long to go vertical, and then everybody will know where it is.
We got about 2 minutes.
Well, I don't know. What else we're going to talk about? Cornhole, Mayor Bell, you, I don't know. I'll get chased down on my way out.
Going to save that for in the moment.
Okay, I will. I won't.
The 51st anniversary celebration, though, and Justin had brought out Rocky Lee.
Yep. Did Rocky come out with him the other day?
The last time he was here. Yes.
Parks director.
Oh, they were. I mean, they were really going.
The Parks Department does so many things, and they are so good. And they when you ride around Mount Juliet, and it doesn't matter really. I think it's 7 days a week. They have staff members in uniform on golf carts going up and down the street picking up trash. I mean, you just don't see hardly any litter. They're spraying weeds, they're trimming, and the curb appeal up and down North Mount Juliet Road, and then the parks starting down with Robinson Park and Jones Park. You go up to where they've got land now at Grace United Methodist, where they're building that passive park there. Charlie Daniels Parkway. I mean, that Parks Department just does an incredible job. They're mowing along the greenways, paving, opened up the new greenway over with the trailhead at Charlie Daniels Park, and really quality of life and giving folks a reason to get outside. I haven't heard anybody officially say, but I didn't see where there was not one single incident last year or this year that police had to, get involved with at the event. And it's I'm very, very proud of how safe the community is, and they just keep pouring the resources at it, whether it's a City Beautiful Committee or the police department opened up a brand new fire station. The county's got two, one on Clemens Road and one on the southeast corner of Central Pike and Mount Juliet Road, so our residents in Mount Juliet, Wilson County are going to have enhanced services out there, and the West Wilson Middle School they're working out there. I swear that's 7 days a week out there, and it just keeps getting bigger. And I know that day is coming where we'll be doing a ribbon cutting there, and the kids can get back in a school. And it's only been just over 3 years, I guess, March of 20, when the tornado just wiped out that entire area. And you come back down there, and it's like the Cumberland Phoenix rising out of the ashes or something. The buildings are bigger, pretty. They've improved the traffic flow, and something we're going to be really proud of for a long time.
Mark, thanks for your visit. See you next month.
Thank you.
Mark Honsley, Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce, and that's part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more, so keep it here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot, write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's still a slow go up through the Spring Hill area in that southern part of Williamson County as they clean up an earlier wreck on 65 northbound, not too far from 840. A couple of cars involved in a crash, 2300 block of Murfreesboro Pike, 65 southbound. We've already had a couple of wrecks there near Trinity Lane this morning as 40 starts to build through the Mount Juliet area. Westbound I-40 headed over through Hermitage right now. Hey, Nash Painting Services, all of Middle Tennessee, and they do a good job at it too. They're number one in commercial and residential painting. Call Nash Painting today or check them out online at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedarstone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment for the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Hot and humid conditions continuing throughout the day today. Partly sunny skies, a high near 93. Heat indices could be as high as 105 degrees. 74 the overnight low tonight. Tomorrow, rain showers pick up at a high of 92. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services where you can get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com where they know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
And we continue here on this rainy Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us, and we want to welcome now our representative from Kane and Crowell, and that is Kayla Costley, who is here in studio with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
How long have you been with Kane and Crowell?
So I have been with Kane and Crowell for approximately 8 years. I actually worked there all through law school. So I worked at Kane and Crowell during the day. I would attend law school at night. And then when I graduated law school and passed the bar exam in 2019, they offered me a job as an attorney. So almost 4 years I've been practicing there as an attorney.
Okay, well, let's go back a little bit. Where did you go to high school?
I graduated from Mount Juliet High School, so I've lived in Wilson County all my life. And then I went from Mount Juliet to MTSU. I graduated there with my bachelor's, and then I went to Nashville School of Law after that for my law degree.
What had just something you had thought you'd do for a long time? When did you decide to become a lawyer?
So kind of a funny story. My parents went through a really tough divorce when I was younger, and we were in and out of court a lot. And honestly, that is what drove me to be an attorney. I always swore I would never practice divorce law, and now here I am. I practice mostly divorce and probate, custody, some adoptions, and estate planning, things like that.
So that's kind of your specialty then.
That's correct.
Well, you see a lot of different situations, no doubt.
No doubt about that. There's 6 of us total, 6 attorneys at Kane and Crowell, and we practice probate, conservatorships, estate planning, business law. I would say pretty much everything but criminal law. We do not have an attorney right now that practices criminal law, but we have Bryson Eubanks, an attorney in our office, Angel Kane, Amanda Crowell, Lindsay Johnson, Mary Alice Carfee, and then myself. We're all the attorneys in the office and practice a wide variety of different types of law.
Well, I guess most of the time people come to you with their problem, and it depends. You have to decide if you can help them, I guess, and how. But if somebody comes seeking a divorce, I mean, they've already pretty much made up their mind the path they're taking, right?
Well, I would say that's probably about 50-50. We have a lot of people that will come in and they're thinking about divorce, but they want to hear their options and what they might be looking at. What it might cost them is a big thing, of course. And so they want to hear their options, and sometimes they aren't ready to proceed with a divorce at that point. But you are a good sounding board then for them, right? That's correct. I like to say sometimes we're like a therapist too.
Well, then you're in a position to advise as to whether it's really in their best interest, perhaps, depending on what they want to do, of course. But there can be some you may not want to go down that road situations, right?
That's correct. Sometimes financially it's not in the best interest of someone, but if they're at that point where they're done and they can't go on any further, then that's on them. But we give them their options and what they're looking at, what the law says based on their facts, and then they ultimately have to be the one to decide.
Mm-hmm. And there, I guess there can be a lot of negotiation going on, maybe in and out of the courtroom in these situations.
That's correct. So prior to ever going to a trial with a divorce or a custody case, we have to attend mediation. And I'll tell you, in Wilson County, we have great mediators, and a lot of our cases do settle prior to trial. So that's something that we let our clients know, but we are required to attend mediation, which I think is a good thing, because then you avoid trial and the extensive cost that comes with that, as well as the emotional aspect of going through a trial like that.
Okay, your location is 133 South College Street in Lebanon. Phone number 615-784-4800. And what about somebody coming for the first time for consultation? Is there an initial fee, or how does that work?
So for anything domestic related, we do charge an initial consult fee, but then if that person decides to hire our office, then the consult fee is applied towards that retainer that they pay. As far as estate planning, probate, things like that, we do not charge a consultation fee. And whenever they call into our office, our staff is great, and they will explain all of that to them.
Well, are your hours mainly Monday through Friday?
I would say our office is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, but my hours specifically, I always say then my work never ends.
But if anyone wants to contact you, probably the best thing to do is to call this number and ask for you, or leave their number and you'll get back with them. Is that?
That's correct. Or they can go on our website, which is www.kane-law.com. And actually, they can submit an inquiry through the website, too. So that's an option, too. And sometimes that's easier for people.
Right. Or, again, the phone number, 615-784-4800. Or you can come by, I guess, 133 South College. You're not there all the time, but...
Not all the time, but somebody's there at all times, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And we're actually right across the street from the courthouse on South College Street, so great location.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being with us today, and it's nice to have you. I'm sure they'll send you back one of these days.
Thank you, Coleman.
Kayla Costley with Kane and Crowell, 133 South College in Lebanon. We are 21 and a half minutes away from the 8 o'clock hour. Mayor Rick Bell joins us this morning to talk about, last night's city council meeting and maybe a little cornhole event on the 4th of July.
Good morning, Coleman.
Good morning. It's good to see you. And I did win again.
You did. That has been 2 weeks ago, so I thought maybe you'd forgotten it by now. But
forget that.
So yeah, our 4th of July event at the fairgrounds was a great success, except for my cornhole. Obviously, you beat me pretty bad. And I will have to tell the listeners that on the last game, you decided to play with your offhand, which is your right hand.
Yeah.
And I was actually able to win that one, so I appreciate you giving me that opportunity.
Well, we had a lot of fun. I think a lot of people had a lot of fun that day. Had a great fireworks show that lasted exactly 20 minutes. I timed it.
Well, it always lasts exactly 20 minutes, and there was a new setup this year, but I can tell you that we had a big crowd out there. You saw a lot of people sitting there listening to the music. Had a couple of bands play, and one of the things new this year was if you came up and were part of our celebration where all the food trucks were, that the band actually played through the fireworks. And so that was really good. But there are a lot of people sitting in the cars, not just on the fairgrounds, but also on the roads around the fairgrounds and throughout the city. So but I think right there on the grounds we had about 15,000 people. So it was
great crowd.
It really was. And so I really appreciate all the city employees who worked on that. We had a planning team that worked for a lot of months to put that together, and of course they were out there all day working, and the police they handled the traffic for us. But it was a big day. It was a great night, and I hope everyone had a good time. I do understand that another city in town claimed that they had the biggest fireworks show in Wilson County, so we might have to make ours a little bigger next year. You never know.
It was raining when you came in.
It was.
What are I haven't paid a lot of attention. In fact, I did notice, I think it rained some during the night, but any chance of flooding in our area?
I talked to Lee Clark on the way in, and I actually, on the way out here, I stopped by the square, looked at the creek. There's not much water in the creek, so everything's looking good right now. It's a steady rain, and as long as we get steady rains, everything is fine. We can handle it. It's those deluges where you have a lot of inches in a short amount of time that really causes problems. But I do want to let everyone know that we are keeping an eye on everything. Lee Clark and his team, he has the sensors in the creek that he's watching to check on the water levels. William Glover for the Lebanon Police Department, he checks with the National Weather Service every day. I know yesterday he and Lee both were in a conference call with the Weather Service, and so we're always on top of that, looking ahead. So in case something starts happening, we can let people know that, hey, there's a possibility out there. But right now, everything looks good.
Well, with some of the improvements that you've made, maybe it'll take a little bit more rain to cause as severe a flood as the last one we had.
Well, we've cleaned out the creek more than we used to, and also we're doing some things too, and this is really for the future to retain more water. The new parking lot just south of the square, there's a feature of that parking lot to retain water there. the sports complex that is being built out on 231 South. That's really where the waters begin, is at the Stumpy Lane. So that park also has built into it larger water retention areas as well. So everything we're doing out there is designed to hold water and not allow it to move in. Now, it'll help, but again, if there's a huge rain, then then that might cause some trouble. But we're working on things in the future. The sensors that we put in just a couple of years ago, they're operating well, and as I said, Lee, he's keeping an eye on those. So we've cleaned out the creek. We're putting more water retention things south of town. We have the sensors. We've really been working on this issue, and so if things if that type of rain happens, we're more ready for it than we ever were before.
Okay. All right, very good. What did you do at the meeting last night? Are you ready to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, there's a couple of things happened last night I think were important, and the most important one was this. Our planning staff has been working on something for a while about new residential subdivisions and residential developments having more usable open space. We've always required new subdivisions to have open space, have areas that remain green with trees. But what's happened, though, in the past is that developers have come in and say there's a piece of land and there's an area where, it's sort of rough that cannot be built on. They have identified that as their open space. Well, Phil Moorhead, who represents Ward 6, he went to one of his newer neighborhoods out in that part of town and noticed that it's a nice neighborhood, nice homes, but there's no open space. There's nowhere for kids to play. There's not like a little park on the corner or anything like that. And so he went to the planning staff and said, hey, what's the deal with this? And so they showed him the site plan. They said, well, here is the open space. And it was behind the houses where maybe there's some gullies or ravines or stuff like that. And he said, wait, that may technically be open space, but the neighbors can't use it.
Yeah.
And so he talked to the planning staff, and the planning staff told him that they've been looking at this, they've been studying how to get more usable open space that the neighbors actually can enjoy. And so Phil Moorhead asked them to put that on the council agenda, what they've been working on. And so last night that passed second reading. So from this point on, if there's a new residential development in town, then you're going to see areas there where people can actually use it as community greens, playgrounds, trails, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So I think that was really important.
Okay, time for us to take a break. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is with us. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford, lifetime brake pad guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns the vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. With this weather moving through Middle Tennessee, please give yourself extra time out here looking at the weather radar. It's going to be out here with us all rush hour traffic here on I-65, starting to slow down pretty good at Trinity Lane. They're still trying to clean up a wreck at 13th at Elston. Also, 2300 block at Murfreesboro Pike. That wreck is in its clearing stages. I see a little bit of volume coming in through the Mount Juliet area on 40 West, leaving Wilson County, headed towards Nashville. Same thing, 24 up through the Hickory Hollow area in from Murfreesboro. Hey, Prince's Hot Chicken is catering. Check out that menu today, princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Thanks, Chuck. And Chuck just sent in an update. A crash on 40 is affecting both east and westbound at 231 in Lebanon.
This is Mike Keith, voice of your Tennessee Titans. With 11 national tournament appearances in this past season, it's obvious that Cumberland University athletics continues to rise above expectations. Join me and Cumberland University for the launch of their Athletics Phoenix Foundation and the ribbon cutting for their football complex renovations on Thursday, July the 27th at 8:30 a.m. at Noakes Lassiter Field in Lebanon, Tennessee. Help us rise together and support transformative football facility enhancements as we impact the lives of our local community, college athletes, and future Cumberland University Phoenix. Learn more at cumberland.edu/Phoenix Foundation. Again, that's cumberland.edu/Phoenix Foundation. Cumberland University, where champions rise together.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane and Crowell. At the offices of Kane and Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane and Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
Thanks for joining us for our final segment here with Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell on this rainy Wednesday morning. You said, I believe you said there might have been two things that you considered last night. You were talking about the first.
Yeah, and there are a couple more things as well. Historic Lebanon, Kim Park, she's the executive director. And they sort of oversee our historic downtown area. And for a while now, they've been working on a downtown streetscape concept plan. And what they've really been looking at is, as downtown develops in the future and as it grows, is really creating street trees, having a prettier streetscape in that part of town, and really make it more green with the trees, and also make it where it's more walkable. You know, you enjoy walking down a sidewalk to different places. And so they've been working on this for a long time. And last night, the city council voted to approve their concept. Now, what's important about this is that this will allow Historic Lebanon to go out and apply for grants to really start the process. Now, this is something that, as we move into the future, it'll be a team effort between the City of Lebanon and Historic Lebanon, because those are our walks and some of our streets. Of course, there's a couple of state routes in that area as well. But it's a really great concept that, as we move into the future, Historic Lebanon, we the city, we can, take bit by bit and make that happen as we go. One of the things we've done right off the bat is we've identified some areas where, instead of having pavement, we can actually have some trees and some shrubbery. If you go down to the square, you'll see some areas where on some of the side streets where we have parallel parking, there may be some striped areas where you can't park. Well, instead of having those paved and striped, we could take out the pavement and actually put shrubs and those types of things. So that would be a good start to that. Also, one of the things that we want to do is put kiosks on the square to show people where different stores are. Kind of like when you go to a mall and you see a sign that says "You are here" and it has like a map. We want to do that on the square too. So this is something that, if you look out on the map, looks like a big project, but if you take it bit by bit, then it can be done. So that was approved by council last night, this concept, and I think that's something important for the future too.
Anything else of note?
Yeah, a couple things. Last night, we passed a resolution to honor the 25th Annual National Day of Prayer for Schools. This is something that the Kiwanis Club plays a big role in. Eddie Callis, who's been a longtime member of the Kiwanis Club and longtime big part of this community, he spoke about that, so we were honored.
Everything but mayor, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so we were honored to be part of that and to recognize that day. And then also, Melanie Mentor with the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce came out, and I did a proclamation to declare We Love Our Teachers Week. And I know Melanie and the two school directors were here with you the other day talking about that. So we were honored to be part of that, and I thank Melanie and Eddie both for allowing us to vote on that and offer our support. So really, for the council meeting last night, those were the big things. There is one other thing they voted on last night. Out in front of Walmart, there was damage done to the traffic signal out there back during the tornado. And we've been going back and forth with insurance for a couple of years now. So we just went ahead and last night and voted to put out bids to fix that traffic signal. There's a temporary one up now, and I know people probably haven't noticed the difference, but it does need to be fixed. Then also over on Maple Hill Road, there was an issue with a culvert that's been going on for several years now, where the culvert is not big enough to handle the water that goes through it.
Where did you say?
Maple Hill Road.
Okay, yeah.
And so the neighbors out there, the people that live in that, their yards tend to flood. So last night, the council also voted to put out bids to fix that culvert too. So that's going to be a big deal for people in that neighborhood. So that was really it for council last night. But there were some events that have happened recently that I do want to mention. We've had a couple of grand openings. This past Saturday, Ross opened down at the old Kmart Center. So we have two of the stores open now, Marshall and Ross. So that's, as it continues to grow, it's going to be more and more shopping opportunities for people. And then the new Zaxby's out on 109 opened just a few weeks ago. Lee Oliver, who owns the one out here in 231, he's opened that one as well. So I appreciate their investment in the city. I know they start out like gangbusters out on 109, so they've done well. And then also a few weeks ago on the square, we had our Light the Night event where we hung the lights over the square and turned them on. So now if you go to the square when the sun goes down, there will be a canopy of lights over the square, and they'll be up all year. So those are some things that we've done here recently.
Well, you're pretty pleased, pretty proud of those lights.
I am. I'll be honest with you. It's something that I told this story. There was a big crowd there that night. I really appreciate everybody coming out. A lot of kids, and I bought ice cream for everyone at the Mercantile, and we were able to put those lights up. But those lights are something that people have talked about here for a long time. I know Historic Lebanon has talked about it, and some other folks, and
you've got a lot of compliments already.
Yeah, a lot of people love it. Yeah, everybody's talked about how pretty they are, and one night, Nicole, my wife, and I, we were watching TV, and HGTV, which is a channel she makes me watch a lot, and there was one show, and they showed their downtown. There were lights over it, and Nicole said, that's something we could do. And so I talked to Lee Clark and said, hey, Lee, I have something I want you to do. So we went down to the square. I said, I want lights over the square. And he looked at me kind of funny and said, how are we going to do that? And I said, well, Lee, you're going to figure it out. And so he did. He and Dwayne, who works with him, they got down there, they studied it, and they figured out a way to do it. The city council voted to allow us to spend the money on the project, and we put those lights up. They worked hard. It wasn't easy to do. They put the lights up, and so now every night they come on. And as I said that night, our square, I already believe, is the best square in Middle Tennessee with the way it is. But these lights really just set it off. I really think so, and make it something special. So I am proud of them, and I'm thankful to the council. I'm thankful to the people who put them up, and I'm thankful for all the people who want to do this all these years, and have always had this vision, and I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
Well, one thing we can say about the square, it's very inhabited anymore.
It is. It's booming, and I've said it before out here. I can remember when the square, there wasn't much happening there, and now there's things happening all the time. You can go to the square just about any time, and there are people down there walking around, shopping, eating, and it's just great to have that core of the city, because as the city grows, obviously we've grown different directions, and we cover a lot of area, but the square is still the heart of the city. Mm-hmm. It really is, and so to have that heart beating strong, that means we're a strong city. So that's really good.
Well, the restaurant that came there over there where McAdoo's used to be, Town Social.
Yeah,
I believe
Town
it's
Square
called.
Social.
And well, I've been there several times. I just don't remember names as well. And what Bob Black has done with the Capitol Theater, something happening there so much of the time. So a lot of you, I mean, even at night, there's a lot of cars parked on the square.
There are, and Bob and Pam Black at the Capitol Theater, they just celebrated their 10th anniversary, and they went in there and made a really big investment. Back when nobody was
no
doing
guarantee.
that, with no guarantee, and really made that venue there. And then other people began to follow, and then we have so many great stores, and Town Square Social opened, and now the Cedar City Brewery, and there's just so much for people to do down there. You can go to a play, to a movie, you can eat, you can shop, you can get ice cream, you can you can go to the butcher shop and buy meat. I mean, there's such a variety. We have a guitar store on the square, and an outdoor store, and it's just so many things happening down there that are variety that really. We really have a hip square, a cool square, where a lot of people of all ages and backgrounds really want to go, and that's important.
I think it's nice to have the Chamber of Commerce office.
It is. The Chamber of Commerce has their office there, and we still have a few offices there, a few law offices, and so it's really a good mixture. But for the Chamber to be right there in the heart of the square is really important. They've been there for a long time now, but there's I can't say enough about the square and all people who've invested in it, and anything that we as a city can do to help them and make it better, we're doing it. Putting a new parking lot in, adding the lights. It's a great part of our city, and it's a part of the city that we need to make sure always thrives.
Mayor, our time's up. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, and that's it for a Wednesday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.